Wow. Just wow. When you look up Smash Brothers clone in the dictionary, Digimon Rumble Arena is one of the first things to come up. Why is that? Because let's face it, this game came out not long after Super Smash Bros. Came out, like only a year or so. Came out in around 2000, 2001, right when Digimon Tamers was airing and when the PS2 was a new system, and when the PS1 was near the end of its lifespan, and it gets this piece of shit. It's worse if you're a Digimon fan who doesn't just say a game is good because it has Digimon in it, because let's face it, this game sucks. So basically, what is this game? Well, basically, from the intro, from the CGI cutscene, which looks like it was made on a low budget, you basically have Digimon for many of the past seasons fighting each other in the most generic arenas possible. Along with the generic late 90s, early 2000s, we're in computers, we're so cool! Remember that back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that was so cool and shit? Yeah. Except, right here, it just seems cheesy because, let's face it, Digimon Tamers is actually badass, but this game isn't. So, you start the game off, let's start the game, shall we, in Digimon Rumble Arena! Who the fuck voiced that? Some hobo on the street? They get some hobo in the street to voice and like, say a line. Okay. Digimon Rumble Arena. Oh, and did I mention the rumble function's turned off by default? So much for having rumble in the title. Whoa.
Gonna play with, huh? Which one?
Shut the fuck up, Kulumon. Your dub voice sucks dick. So basically, the character selection sucks. You have 9 characters, and then you can unlock some reskins in the Digivolutions later. Basically, they're all Digimon from several seasons. There's there's several from 02, several from Adventure, and several from Tamers, because this came out around when Tamers came out, and the first 3 seasons are pretty much connected to each other, and they did connect Tamers to, even though Tamers is radically different from Adventure in 02, they pretty much technically added references to and Adventure is technically a TV show in the Tamers universe. But anyways, enough with talking about Digimon mythos, and back to the game. The gameplay sucks. The voices all sound like they were recorded on a telephone. This is a PS1 game, not an N64 game, and the voice samples sound like they were recorded on an N64. And there's slowdown up the ass. There's slowdown everywhere. And the Digivolutions don't barely do jack shit. You get moves that you can spam, but considering how slow your moves are, you're best off using your main Digivolution. And did I mention those are the only 9 Digimon available? There aren't any other Digimon available, but then again, there aren't that many lesser-known Digimon that more people give a shit about, but
you win.
At least there's voice acting.
Ready?
But anyway, even though the voice acting sucks dick in the Japanese version, at least they managed to get the Japanese voice actors, and let's face it, the Digimon sub version is about 4 trillion times better than the dub. I think we can all agree on this. So basically the gameplay is literally a Smash Brothers clone. You jump around, you can use 3 attacks, kick, punch, and special move, and basically instead of using Smash Brothers' stock system, you have a health bar. And a meter you can film up to Digivolve, or Evolve in the Japanese version, which is somewhat better because it actually includes anime background tracks, even though they're horribly compressed in the PS1. But anyways, the gameplay is just that. The stages are all bland, they're all just generic stages. You just pick a random stage, and kaboom. That's pretty much the whole game. You pick a random
Digivolution.
stage, spam attacks, it gets boring after like 10 minutes. It's just meh. Even if you're a Digimon fan like me, you don't really get to go to the locations seen in the series. For example, Tamers. You could have had a fight in actual Tokyo, and that would be pretty badass, but I'm guessing Bandai, this was a PS1 game, and second, I doubt they put the effort into doing that, but oh well. It would be pretty cool if they actually made a Digimon game that was fun.
This is for Rika.
Sadly, that's
You
never going to really
win.
come, unless you're a hardcore fanboy who believes that anything with a Digimon label on it is automatically good. There's also load times, and load times, and load times. And of course, there aren't as many good mini-games as Smash Bros. You know how Smash Bros. Had the good break the targets mini-game, that was fun? No. This just isn't as challenging or fast-paced. This is just spamming attacks. Oh, and Evo Meter is pretty much like Power Stone. I wouldn't say to rip off a Brawl because this game came before Brawl, but Power Stone came before this game. But anyways, yeah. In the end, this is just a meh, overrated game. The stages are boring, and the game is pretty easy to win. It's just not that entertaining. And if you have a friend, you can only do 2 player. This game does not support 4 players at all, unlike the original Smash Brothers. Even if you put money into buying a PS1 multi-tap, you can't do 4 players. All in all, this game is just meh. But hey, it did sell well enough for it to get a greatest hits Green Label re-release. And so, they made a sequel. Digimon Rumble Arena 2 for the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. And let me say, it's even more of a Smash Brothers ripoff than the original. It's even worse than this game, and it's just not as interesting if you're a Digimon fan like me. So, let's end this Digimon Rumble Arena 1 footage, and let's talk about Digimon Rumble Arena 2, shall we? And be aware, it's more of the same meh-ish stuff, maybe even worse. Now, first off, I'd like to put a disclaimer. Normally, with the load times, I know it's because of the game being a piece of shit. However, with this one, I'm unsure. My Xbox made a lot of noise trying to read the discs, and I got load screens, even though most people seem to have far fewer issues loading this game, even on the PS2. I'm pretty confused at this point, but I think it's partially my Xbox, partially the game being a piece of crap because games like Mech Assault are perfectly playable. So basically, you start the game off and hear this repetitive-ass background music, which sounds like elevator music. So yeah, anyways, it's a good thing you can install games to the hard drive on modded Xboxes, because if you don't, and your disk drive is screwy, you'll get long-ass load times like this. I mean, could they have at least designed this game so it would work better, like by loading stuff onto the hard drive like many Xbox games do? Because this long load time for the settings menu is just unacceptable. So anyways, like, I shit you not, it's gotta load the settings menu because, yeah, I don't even know anymore. With the load time issue aside, let's talk about the game. The selection of Digimon is shittier. Even though this game came out in the Frontier era, this game uses none of the Frontier Digimon, and instead has all the Digimon from Adventure, one from Tamers, one from O2, and one from Frontier. I wonder why they did that. It's kind of a step backwards, and many characters that were in the first, such as Renamon, Terriermon, and Wormmon, are not in this game. So don't expect to play as them. Anyways, another thing with this game is that, of course, the graphics still look meh. Even though this is an original Xbox game, this game does not use the original Xbox hardware that much at all. As you can clearly see from the fact that this game is having issues loading on a Xbox with a weaker laser, which, even though games like Halo 2 will load perfectly fine on this Xbox, this is just having issues. And of course, load time issue aside, the game's just meh because the graphics don't use any of the Xbox's power. Seriously. The stages and music look even more bland and repetitive than the first one. Now, basically, for single-player mode, you can have, of course, you know how Smash Brothers was with its stock system where you get kicked out of the arena 3 times, well, or KO'd. Basically, that's what this is. If you get killed so much, then yeah, it uses a health bar system like the first one, and you can also collect those little things, kind of like Digimon Battle Spirit, to gain Digivolution. But the Digivolution's even shittier because it can actually make it more annoying than in the first one. And of course, the gameplay is mostly the same Smash Brothers ripoff gameplay. The graphics look even worse in Smash Bros. Melee, which is kind of pathetic considering the original Xbox I thought was more powerful than the GameCube. This game just didn't sell as well as the first. Maybe this was part of the reason. It just wasn't fun. It does offer many improvements, including 4-player mode and a total Smash Brothers ripoff mode, which actually lets you do multiplayer with, of course, the best thing ever, stocks. Well, unlimited stock. Instead of percentages, it'll have even though there's still a health bar system, if you get knocked out of the arena, you'll lose a life or gain points like in Smash Brothers. They even got it down to the finest details. I'm serious. Unlike the Smash Brothers series, and like the first one, there aren't many ways to customize your multiplayer matches. Pick generic stage, pick characters, fight. There's not many ways to customize it, but then again, why would you be playing this with friends? I mean, Smash Brothers is a lot more fun. It was pretty much designed for multiplayer and has a lot more options for when you're playing multiplayer. This just feels like it's trying to be Smash Brothers, but it's just not as fun. You know how Smash Brothers was, where it had all this chaos and shit in it? This game isn't like that. This game is boring and just not fun. I mean, it feels like a half-assed version of Smash Brothers. I mean, even the first one, well, the first one sucked as much as this one. They both suck. But first off, I'd like to mention this. Why the fuck did they make a sequel? I mean, the sequel only sold like, it didn't sell well, so now you can find it for like 30 to 40 bucks used on the Xbox, especially the GameCube version. The GameCube version is really expensive because if you had a GameCube, you probably own Smash Brothers. And why would you buy this ripoff? This game's not good at all. Don't buy this game or the first one. Both the first one and this end up coming off as bad ripoffs of Smash Brothers. Like I said, when you look up in the dictionary Smash Brothers clone or ripoff, this comes up. And I'm going to say this. This game just isn't fun. If you want a good game, go play like Smash Bros. Or every single other fighting game ever made, like Tekken and stuff. They're better than this. They could actually make a good Digimon game, maybe if they actually made one where it's not trying to be Smash Brothers and instead it's got its own good fighting engine and stuff. Maybe if they did something like that, that would be epic, but knowing Bandai, I don't think that's going to happen. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and just so you know, there are many better fighting games in this game. Just to let you know. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.